CSS keyframes and keyframe animation seems a bit complex at first, but it's really not that bad. So let's take a look at how we could use CSS keyframes to create animation in our project. So I will, in the README part of the video here on YouTube, I'll add resources. I tend to do this with all of the videos and the exercises we're working on, but I'll include resources to the pages I have here which we're looking at. So a keyframe animation is pretty straightforward. What you need to do to start is in your CSS, I usually place the @keyframes above the style which I'm going to add keyframes to. So in this example, we have @keyframes, and then you'll see my move. And my move is user defined. It's a name you make up, and this is going to be the name of your animation. And there's really just a couple of approaches. One is we can take the from to approach, and we can also, if we go down here a little bit, we can also use percentages. So we could say that, let's just say we had a duration of 1 second, and we'll talk about some of the properties and their values which we can use. But let's just say you had a keyframe that you wanted to have a duration of 1 second. Then this part here would be at the very beginning. And this would be a quarter of the way through 1 second, 50% of the way through 1 second, 75, and then finally the end of the animation. So you can have the from to, or we could use percentages. Now this is 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100, but you could have 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 90, 100. You could, it's open. You could pretty much do whatever you want. So keyframes can be a lot of fun, and you know, a lot of what am I trying to say here? Just fun to explore. Okay, just open to exploration. Now, what you'll notice, let's just say at 0. So what we're doing is saying the top position would be 0 pixels. So this would coincide to the top position you would currently have in your style. And then at a particular point, then we would change the top. And then so again, and so again, and then in this case, you notice at 100, we are back to 0. So we go from 0 to 200 to 100, back to 200, back to 0. And you can have multiple properties and their values. You could change the top, the left, the width, the height, the color, anything. You just include all of the properties and the values. Okay, so there's also this page, and what's nice about this page is this page will list the different properties. Okay, so we have our keyframe property, we have our animation name, the duration, the delay, the iteration count. Okay, so how many times something will happen or play, the direction, and we also have a timing function. So this equates, I believe, to the velocity of how something moves. And then we have a fill mode, and the fill mode is sometimes you have the styles are not applied until the animation begins, and that sometimes creates this funny little pause, and I believe the animation fill mode will help eliminate that pause. Okay, and then animation. All right, so you can scroll through this page. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but basically you can go through this page and you'll get an explanation for what these different properties do, what they're about, and you will get examples. Okay, and then if you go down to the end, this is kind of nice. This just gives you a quick, we'll get there eventually. All right, did I go past it? Oh, I didn't go far enough, sorry. All right, so then you'll get this nice little chart, if you will, that just gives you the property and a brief description. So this might be one that you want to do a screen capture of and then place in your toolkit or in your sketchbook. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Now we have an overview of keyframe and keyframe animations. Let's go to a second video and we will add a keyframe animation to our exercise.